Damn, this guy is annoying. Thought stopped sight as he and Dog Pound searched for Aizawa through the smoke. This was supposed to be a simple mission. Keep Eraserhead from stopping Starro's assault by killing him. With his quirk and Dog Pound's power, this should have been simple. But that damn knockoff ninja just had to be difficult and hide in a smoke screen. Seriously, how many smoke bombs did that guy have? Just come out, Dog Pound demanded. Sure thing, man, shouted Present Mike somewhere in the smoke. Both their eyes widened, as they quickly realized what was about to happen, but couldn't do anything about it. Yeah, hi. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX. Back in the arena, with more forces to work with, the Uncontrolled managed to get a foothold on the battlefield. They'd created a center, surrounded by a field of Mineta's balls and Bondo's glue, as well as a short wall of Todoroki's ice to make cover and stall anyone who came close. Izuku was shooting at anyone who had a useful quirk, getting rid of their starfish and bringing them to their side, while Bakugo and Uraraka knocked back anyone who got close, and everyone else did their part, either fortifying their defenses, hitting back people from afar, of knocking back anyone who got too close. Damn it, can anyone do a thing to that fucking oversized seafood? Bakugo asked. Round face, can't you make that thing lighter or something? Not without using more power than my body could handle, Ochako said before her eyes widened. Wait, Izuku, give me that crystal. Izuku nodded and threw her the fractal without question. Ochako clutched the fractal and took a deep breath. Alright, here goes nothing. Full cowling, 100%. Pink electricity covered Ochiko's body, and her hair rose up as the power coursed through her body. And boy did it hurt. Ochako could feel the power tear apart her muscles and insides, and while the fractal healed the damage quickly, it did nothing to dull the pain. Despite this, she knew what had to be done, and dashed out of the makeshift shelter, so fast that no one could see her move. In no time at all, she reached Starro and touched it with her fingers. The power of One for All enhanced her quirk, allowing her to make the extremely heavy Starro completely weightless. MT Lady, now, lift it. MT Lady felt the weight lessen and knew this was her chance. She pressed her hands against the ground, cracking the concrete, as she pushed against the ground to push herself up. Slowly but surely, MT Lady started pushing herself and Starro up, but Starro kept its grip on the ground via its suction cups. But that wouldn't be the case for long, as Netsu saw this, and blasted its arms with fire, burning them off, and allowing MT Lady to spring up, freeing herself of Starro's trap. Get lost! MT Lady shouted as she tossed the weightless Starro into the air, leaving it completely defenseless. Finally, Netsu yelled as he rapidly charged up his quirk, using every bit of power he had, to finally put an end to this thing. Netsu's fire turned white, as he aimed his hands up at Starro. White. Hot. Hell. Boom. A wave of white-hot fire shot out of Netsu's hands, with a deafening roar, in the form of a huge burning beam. The last thing Starro ever saw was white, as the beam pierced through its center like a bullet through paper. Netsu's beam pierced the sky, putting an end to the star-shaped threat. Release! Ochako quickly deactivated her quirk, allowing the corpse to crash into the earth. She quickly deactivated her quirk, and collapsed from the pain, drifting off into unconsciousness. Ho-ho, yeah, all the remaining fighters cheered, celebrating their victory, as all the mind-controlled people came to a stop. And then they started going berserk. Suddenly every mind-controlled person started wildly flailing about, hitting anything around them, including themselves, and using their quirks wildly. The fighters looked at the chaos with wide, disbelieving eyes. No, I thought taking out the main one would kill them all, but it was just keeping them in control. Izuku shouted out in horror. Everyone! We need to restrain as many people as possible. Got it, boss! Shouted Sori's voice from out of sight. Slam! 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 Suddenly, every mind-controlled person was stuck in quick succession, knocked unconscious in mere seconds. Once again, everyone looked up in disbelief, as Sori appeared in front of Izuku, holding the Chaos Emerald. Done. What the fuck? Bakugo said simply. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX outside the stadium, easily incapacitating any mind-controlled civilians that they came across until they reached the outside of the stadium, where they found Ken, Momo, Jiro, and the rest of the civilians who had evacuated. Ken Nara immediately ran forward and hugged her brother, glad to see he was okay. Thank goddess. I was worried you'd do something stupid and get yourself killed. PFT, no way I'd get offed by an overgrown starfish, Ken said confidently. It is good to see you are all unharmed, Giza said, as he brought the rest of the group together. He turned his attention to Momo and Jiro. I do hate to burden you, but could I ask you to watch over these children for a short while? There is something I must take care of. We're kinda on our last legs here. Jiro pointed out, as she held onto an exhausted Momo. I merely need you to keep your ears open, Giza said as he turned the other way. The rest will be taken care of. With that, Giza ran off, back towards the arena. All while a cloaked figure watched from within the crowd of people, before turning his gaze towards the still unconscious Kiba. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX while Gentle stared her down, looking for openings. You're far more formidable than your reputation would lead people to believe. Shinigami praised while stalling for time. To think someone who could give me trouble in a battle would spend his days robbing small convenience stores. How I spend my time is of no matter to you. Gentle told her harshly. All that matters is that you remove your illusion and free my law dash. Boom! Their conversation was cut short, as Netsu had burned a hole through Starro, killing the monster. Shit. Shinigami thought as she looked down at Midoriya, who was very much still alive. Well, that was a bust. Although, she looked over at Gentle, who was now distracted by the death of the beast. I should be able to get away and kill Midoriya, now that I'm not being shackled by holding up that illusion. Shinigami quickly activated her quirk. Illusion, allowing her to manipulate light in an area to project illusions over an area. She'd been using this quirk to make it appear to the people outside that the arena wasn't under attack, but now there wasn't really a point. She made herself completely invisible while leaving a fake doppelganger to trick Gentle. Shinigami attempted to run off the side of the arena, to jump down and make her way to Izuku. However, as she jumped off, Giza flew up and kicked her in the jaw, knocking her back up onto the top of the arena and breaking her illusion. Gah! Shinigami slid back as Giza landed on the top of the arena. So you finally show yourself. Given you were about to assassinate my benefactor, it would be inconsiderate for me not to show myself, Giza said, as he put his hands behind his back and took a relaxed stance, before looking to Gentle. I must thank you for keeping her occupied, otherwise I may not have been able to stop her before she moved location. No. If anything, you have my apologies. A gentleman should finish his own business in a timely manner. Something which I have failed to do. Gentle gave him a polite bow. If I may, I'd like to ask you for your assistance in punishing this woman, for harming my dear La Brava. Gladly, catch. Giza swiveled around, and kicked the air, hitting a cloaked Shinigami, and sending her flying toward Gentle. Gentle made the air in front of him elastic, which Shinigami bounced off of back towards Giza. Shinigami took out her shorts and slashed at Giza as she flew towards him, but he caught her hand stopping her slash, and threw her around and into the ground, before kicking her in the specific part of the arm, forcing her to release the blade. Shit! I need to get away. Shinigami activated her quirk and made it appear that more foot ninjas had run up the wall, and come to attack Giza, who was keeping her pinned. Gentle was about to rush over to help, but Giza gave him a look that told him to stop. The illusionary soldiers struck at Giza, but of course, they did nothing but pass through him. Your illusions will not work on me, Giza told her. Your plan ends here. Stomp! XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX he could just get close to her, then he could do what he came here for. But that was a big if. She was surrounded by her adoring fans who were currently body blocking him from reaching her, and she had all her extremely powerful siblings around her. He might have been able to get in a sneak attack if it weren't for that Jiro girl. She was already giving suspicious looks in his direction, likely hearing the subtle clang of his blades under his cloak. If he acted, he knew she'd hear him, and alert the others before he could strike. Stain was not a greedy fool like the fake heroes he slayed. He'd managed to kill quite a few fake heroes during the chaos of today's event, and he'd have to be content with that. Kiba would be safe yet another day it seemed. But for how long?